Today we are going to discuss vestibular pathways and its afferent and efferent connection. Okay. In previous lecture we have discussed structure of vestibular apparatus. Okay. So in this pathways we know that first order neuron is bipolar cell, hair cell. Okay. Then axon of this cell basically it forms vestibular division of vestibulocochlear nerve, eighth cranial nerve, which enters the medulla. Okay, and in a medulla there is a vestibular nuclei. Okay, it enters into the vestibular nuclei, and already we have discussed that there are different vestibular nuclei. Okay, superior, lateral, medial and inferior part, and from here there is a connection. Okay, for example, afferent connection receives afferents from cerebellum, okay, cerebral cortex. Okay, efferent connection vestibulospinal tract, okay, vestibulo-ocular tract, vestibulocerebellar tract, vestibulo-reticular spinal tract, vestibulo-rubrospinal tract, and vestibulo-thalamocortical fibers. So these are efferent connection. Vestibulo-ocular tract ascend through MLF, that is medial longitudinal fasciculus, and terminate in nuclei of third, fourth, sixth cranial nerve, and it is concerned with movement of eyeball in relation to position of head. So this tract help to control position of eyeball. Okay, movement of eyeball in relation to when there is a change in position of head. Then vestibulocerebellar tract, vestibulo-reticular spinal tract, vestibulo-rubrospinal, and vestibulo-thalamocortical fibers. Okay, so now this tract are very important, or efferent connection are very important to control posture. Now, mechanism of functioning of vestibular apparatus. Silent features of functioning of semicircular canal. A receptor of semicircular canal are stimulated by rotatory movements or angular acceleration of head. Semicircular canal are oriented in three different planes: in transverse axis, vertical axis, and antero-posterior axis. Okay, so in this plane there is a stimulation of semicircular, means receptor present in semicircular canal. Okay, so in transverse axis means nodding of head up and down, as in signifying yes. Okay, then in vertical axis, shaking of head from side to side, as in signifying no. And antero-posterior axis, tilting the head so that ear touches the shoulder. Okay, so in three condition, on in three axes, there is a stimulation of receptor present in semicircular canal. So receptor of horizontal canal are stimulated during rotation of head in vertical axis. Okay, in vertical axis. So in vertical axis means shaking of the head from side to side. Then receptor of vertical canals are stimulated during rotation of head in antero-posterior or transverse axis. Receptor of semicircular canal are stimulated only at the beginning of the movement of head and at the stoppage of movement, rotatory movements. And during continued rotation at a constant speed, these receptors are not stimulated, rather they are adapted. Okay, so in this figure there is a stimulation of semicircular canal receptor, okay, in horizontal or lateral semicircular canal during rotation of head towards right side. Okay, so A, it is a resting position. Okay, so these are the lateral semicircular canal, left and right. Okay, you can see in this figure. Okay, this is cupula and these are the stereocilia. Smaller are stereocilia and larger one is kinocilium. Okay, stereocilia and kinocilium, and this shows this lining shows action potential. Okay, action potential, it is a chain of action potential, frequency of action potential. Okay, so now this is the resting position. Okay, so there is no stimulation of receptor which is present in ampulla portion. Now when head begins to rotate to the right side, okay, so direction of movement of the head towards the right side. So now as we know that semicircular canal filled with the endolimb, so direction of movement of endolimb towards the left side, okay, towards the ampulla. So in right side you can see here, okay, due to movement of endolimb there is a backward movement of cupula, so there is a movement of stereocilia towards the kinocilium. Okay, you can see here, so there is a stimulation and it leads to depolarization. Okay, so there is a increased action potential frequency as compared to left side. Okay, in the left side direction of movement of endolimb there away from the ampulla, so there is a no stimulation of this receptor, so this stereocilia goes away from the kinocilium. Okay, so there is a inhibition and hyperpolarization. Okay, now after 15 to 20 seconds of continued movement of head at a constant speed, okay, what happened here, movement of endolimb is in same direction and at the same speed, so ampulla is not affected. So here there is a no stimulation of hair cell which is present in ampulla part. Okay, so there is a no either depolarization or hyperpolarization, okay, at a constant speed. And when head stops, okay, figure D, okay, during cessation of movement of head the endolimb continues to move and cause movement of cupula away from ampulla in right side and towards the left in horizontal semicircular canal. Okay, so movement of endolimb, okay, in right side there is away from cupula, so there is a movement of stereocilia from the kinocilium away from kinocilium, so there is a hyperpolarization, inhibition. But on the left side endolimb move towards the ampulla. Okay, so there is a backward movement of cupula leads to stereocilia towards the kinocilium, so it leads to depolarization. Okay, so there is a increased action potential frequency. Okay, so when head stops moving, so these are the observation in lateral semicircular canal. Now the information received from this semicircular canal during rotation of head along three perpendicular axes is used by central nervous system to interpret the speed and direction of head movement and to make appropriate adjustment in posture and of eye position. Okay, so this is the main function of vestibular apparatus, to maintain posture this way. Okay, now mechanism of functioning of utricle and saccule. Okay, so utricle, macula of utricle is directed horizontally and so its cilia are in vertical plane. So these vertically oriented cilia are stimulated by horizontally directed linear acceleration. So these hair cells are also stimulated during dorsiflexion or ventroflexion of the head. Saccule, macula of saccule directed vertically, so its cilia are in horizontal plane, and these horizontally oriented cilia are stimulated by vertically directed linear acceleration. For example, moving in lift. So this hair cell are stimulated when head is tilted sideways. For example, if head is tilted laterally to the right, the otolith membrane of macula of right saccule hangs downwards and pulls on its macula, which is maximally stimulated, and otolith membrane of left saccule points upward and rests on macula. So minimal stimulation of nerve endings. Now vestibular reflexes. Vestibulo-ocular reflex and otolith reflexes. Vestibulo-ocular reflex, it maintains visual fixation during movement of head by producing reflex nystagmus and post-rotatory nystagmus. Okay, so it is an involuntary jerky movement of eyeball nystagmus. So when head is rotated to the left, the eyes move slowly toward the right in order to keep the image on the fovea. When eye have rotated as far as they can, they are rapidly returned to the center of shock head, and this reflex movement of eye are called nystagmus. It has two components, slow and quick component. Slow component, slow movement of eyes to maintain visual fixation is initiated by receptor in the semicircular canals when head rotated to the left. Receptor in left horizontal canal are stimulated in this condition. Their axon activate reflex movement of eyes towards the right through impulses reaching the nuclei of third, fourth and sixth cranial lobe. And in the quick component, when slow movement of eyeball is limited, the eyeball move to new fixation point in the direction of rotation of head. So this movement to a new fixation point occurs with a jerk, and so it is called quick movement, or it is quick component. This component is due to impulses from the vestibular nuclei to the ocular muscles. Now post-rotatory nystagmus, it occurs after the body has been rotated and movement ceases. This is due to movement of cupula in opposite direction caused by endolymph when rotation is stopped. Otolith reflexes. Otolith organ initiate reflex that prevents leg injuries when individual walks downstairs or jumps from the platform. When making such a descent, muscle of the leg begin to contract before the feet reach the ground to cushion the force of impact. And the otolith receptor are responsible for this reflex. They are stimulated by linear acceleration of the head that occurs during descent. So these are very important reflex. Okay, so it is a preventive or protective reflex for foot. Thank you.